Hello again and welcome to the Warhammer 40K Imperial Guard Tactics video. Now before we get into today's video, I want to say a big thank you to Mac Leo, hope I am pronouncing that correctly, for sending me a link to his Imager sort of profile, which has loads and loads of pictures of really well painted models on it. Absolutely fantastic. There's a link on my Facebook page if you guys are interested. There's some really cool armies in there, not just Imperial Guard. I had a look through, and the one that sort of caught my eye was some pictures of these Talon Desert Raiders. Don't really have enough pictures of Talon Desert Raiders on the channel, so I thought, you know what, I'd use these because it's a bit more special. But you know, absolutely massive thank you to Mac for sending these pictures in. If anyone else has any pictures they want me to potentially use in my videos, then please post them on my Facebook page. There's a link down in the description below. And if they're cool or well painted or some action shots or just generally awesome, then I will use them in my videos because I love to show off the hard work that you guys put into your armies. Now, let's take a look at today's video, which is going to be, we're going to be revisiting a topic which I've talked about in the past, briefly touched upon, autocannon grenade launchers. Basically, the autocannon grenade launcher combo is back, guys. It is back with a vengeance. Now, for those of you that only joined the noble ranks of the Imperial Guard in 8th edition, you may not be aware, but there is essentially the tried and tested and true combination of an autocannon and a grenade launcher for an infantry squad. And this combination of taking an autocannon grenade launcher was just the mainstay of any Imperial Guard army since about 4th edition. For just edition after edition after edition, it was, even 3rd edition to be honest, it's always been the autocannon and the grenade launcher for your infantry squads because it's got a good range, it's got a decent punch, it's got an okay rate of fire, the grenade launcher's strength pairs well with the autocannon strength, and they both were good at hunting sort of light vehicles and medium infantry, and it was just a take-all-comers squad. Now, 8th edition, and that was always because those two options were relatively cheap. They were sort of the cheap option for the infantry squads that allowed them to tackle almost any threat. Now, 8th edition dropped, and the autocannon very quickly fell out of favour with guard commanders, and the heavy bolter really became the precedent, became the primary arm for guard infantry squads. It had a good rate of fire thanks to the way wounding mechanics worked. It could wound anything, even on 5s. The AP-1 was the same on the heavy bolter and the autocannon, but the most important thing was that the autocannon used to be 15 points at the beginning of 8th edition, and the heavy bolter's always been 8 points during 8th edition. So it's basically half points to go for heavy bolter to get a similar result. So why wouldn't you go for the heavy bolter? Well, the reason for this was that the heavy bolter, while it did 3 shots, only did 1 damage. So the maximum damage it could do was 3. If you hit with everything, wound everything, your opponent failed every save, then the maximum damage you could do was 3. And Games Workshop at the beginning of 8th edition put a really high price and put a real emphasis on multiple damage weapons being expensive. You could spam 1 damage weapons to your heart's content, but at the moment you wanted to have a flat 2 damage, flat damage was always very expensive, always. But the autocannon has consistently come down in points, and now, after Chapter Proof 2018, the autocannon is only 10 points. So basically, it's gone down in points by 33%, which is fantastic. Now, the grenade launcher was already a pretty good weapon in 8th edition, but the problem was it had to compete with the plasma gun. Now, the plasma gun on a ballistic skill 4 model only cost 7 points, and the grenade launcher cost 5. And the plasma gun was superior in every way. It got 1 shot at 24-inch range, which was at strength 7, which is 1 higher strength than the grenade launcher. AP-3, which was 2 better AP than the grenade launcher, and it had the potential to be overcharged for flat 2 damage, whereas the grenade launcher had D3, which was a bit random. And then, if you got into rapid fire range with the plasma gun, you got 2 shots. And even if you didn't want to to overcharge, and the plasma gun could be overcharged to go up to strength 8. So it was better in every way. It was only 2 points more, so it's just a no-brainer. It's just an absolute no-brainer to go for the plasma gun. Now, as 8th edition has plodded along, there's been some factors which have changed. Obviously, mostly the grenade launcher is now only 3 points. It's less than half. You can get 2 grenade launchers and a bolt gun for the same price as 1 plasma gun now, which is significant. And that means that the grenade launcher now has, if you have 2 grenade launchers versus 1 plasma gun, the grenade launcher gets 2 shots at 24-inch range, those 2 grenade launchers, and they still get 2 shots at rapid fire range because they're assault weapons, so they don't care. So they're getting more shots at long range than the plasma gun if you take equivalent points in grenade launchers as plasma guns. You do more shots at long range, you get the same amount of shots at close range, but the difference is that the grenade launcher is only AP Mass 1, it's only strength 6, and that D3 damage is it's the same. So yeah, grenade launchers have got basically they are now less than half the points of a plasma gun, which now makes them considered again. In fact, makes them very viable, makes them spammable. And why is that important? Why is it suddenly important? Because the plasma gun still, on paper, is worth paying for. It still is. But why is the grenade launcher now definitely on equal footing? Why is the autocannon definitely on equal footing? Because what is causing, and I've talked about this before, what is causing me to change from, you've got points changes. Great, yeah, points changes make a big difference. But you've also got to consider the meta. Okay? And the meta, essentially, I've talked about this before, is there's been a big increase in the amount of invulnerable saves that people can take. Now, this was already prevalent before Chapter Approved 2018. Okay? Already very prevalent. But since Chapter Approved 2018, invulnerable save spam has really started to go through the roof. Thanks to the fact that Space Marines can now take Storm Shields for 2 points per guy. Which means, and especially with the rise of Death Watch are going to be really big on the tournament scene, guys. I've touched upon this in another video, in the Bolter video, but Death Watch are going to be huge. Death Watch, you're going to see Death Watch in every tournament now, and they're going to be good. They have the tools to deal with everything. And that means every Death Watch guy, for just 2 points, has a 3+ invulnerable save, because each veteran can take a Storm Shield, and they can take a Storm Bolt as well for 2 points. So for 18 points, you've got a guy who's got 4 shots and a 3+ invulnerable save. That's tasty. Now, because of the rise in vulnerable saves, suddenly the AP-3 of the plasma gun is becoming almost a tax. I mean, who cares if you're AP-3? If everyone's got a 3+ invulnerable save, your AP-3 don't mean shit. And obviously we're talking from a tournament competitive side here, guys. Like, there's always going to be times, when you're playing your casual games versus, your friend's Space Marines, and he's got, like, a Predator or a Tactical Squad. There's always going to be, that AP-3 is going to be great, but we're talking competitive, we're talking tournament. And more invulnerable saves are being seen. Talos, for example. They have a 4+ invulnerable save. And they're still very powerful. And the big thing is now, guys, is Maz 1 to hit is making a big comeback. Because the big meta shift at the moment is going to be is 9 Eldar planes. Now, the problem with facing 9 Eldar planes is they're all going to be either Maz 1 to hit or Maz 2 to hit. It's a mixture of Eldar and Dark Eldar, I believe. And so using that plasma gun, again, becomes risky. Because if you overcharge to get that 2 damage, you're killing yourself. You're hitting only on a 6. And you're killing yourself on like a 3 from overcharge, the way modifiers work. So the plasma gun is becoming a liability. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want you guys all to think, oh, plasma guns are shit, I've spent the last 12 months buying those plasma guns. Plasma guns are still great, guys, don't get me wrong, they're still great. But if we're playing the meta here, if we're keeping that meta shift, grenade launchers are now looking very tasty. And it's the reason why now I want to be shifting away from my las cannon plasma gun squads to my autocannon grenade launcher squads. It's already the case with fighting things like Talos and Custodes before Chat approved. But now we're seeing Storm Shields on everyone. Storm Shields are making a huge comeback. People are buying up third-party shields left, right, and centre. Now is the time for autocannon grenade launcher. Okay, because you're getting more shots. You know, for the points that you're paying, you're getting more shots. You can get 2 autocannons for every las cannon, which means you can get 4 autocannon shots for 1 las cannon shot. You can get 2 grenade launchers for every plasma, which means you're getting 2 grenade launcher shots for every plasma gun shot. You know, it's half the price. A las cannon plasma gun squad will set you back 67 points. A autocannon grenade launcher squad will set you back 53 points. That's a 14-point difference, guys. 14 points. That's huge. That's a third of an infantry squad, roughly. That is really, really big. And considering that, you know, we want to be spamming like infantry hard. You know, if you're taking 12 infantry squads, that's, you know, if you take 12 autocannon grenade launcher infantry squads, that's the same as like 8. You know, you can get 12 autocannon grenade squads or 8 las cannon plasma gun squads. So that's the difference, and it increases. You know, and you're going to be taking about 100 infantry. If you take 100 infantry and now you switch from your las cannon las plas, and you switch to autocannon grenade launcher, you know, you're going to be able to get 30. You know, you can get 130 infantry now, roughly. You know, we're talking rough numbers here. Obviously, you know, that's if you're just buying an extra few bare bones infantry squads. You want to start throwing a grenade launcher in there, whatever, it's fine. But, you know, you're still looking at, if you're taking 100 infantry with las cannon grenade launcher, then you can now easily take 120, 130. You can get an extra 30 bodies. That's good. So yeah, las cannon grenade launcher is back on the menu, guys. It really is. And I definitely think it's worth considering. It's definitely the only thing you have to consider. If you're taking your las cannons and plasma guns away from your squads, you're losing a lot of anti-tank potential. Okay, and there's always going to be tanks. There's always going to be a time that you want to do a big D6 damage. Okay, so the important thing is if you're taking your las cannon plasma guns out of your infantry squads and replacing them with autocannon grenade launcher, then you should still find time to take some to find a way of getting good anti-tank into your list, or you just spam the fuck out of autocannon based weapons now. Exterminators are cheaper than battle cannons now. Autocannons are cheap across the board. You know, it's. I think it's worth considering just going maximum autocannon grenade launch and just going for that spam, going for that overwhelm. Because think about it, every shot that you sneak through is 2 damage. Every shot you sneak through is 2 damage. That's only 12 shots you got to sneak through on a night. You only got to sneak 12 shots through from an autocannon grenade launcher combo. Considering each squad's putting out 3 shots, that's only 12. You know, you start caging that up. There's only 12 shots you've got to sneak through on a night, and it dies. No, consider that. Consider that. That's easily done. Very easily done. So, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you guys next time.